Mikolas remains undefeated in St. Louis win over Chicago. St. Louis, App. Miles Mikolas continued his early season dominance of the National League Central, throwing 7 shutout innings in the St. Louis Cardinals' 3-2 win over the Chicago Cubs on Friday night. The win is the third straight for the Cardinals, their second in 3 games this season against a Chicago team they lost 14 of 19 games against a year ago. The Cubs, meanwhile, have now lost 3 games in a row for the first time this season. Mikolas, 4-0, allowed 7 hits in his 6th start after signing with St. Louis during the offseason. Each of the right-handers' starts has come against Central teams, and he's allowed 2 or fewer runs in 4 straight games, throwing 7 innings in each. After pitching for 3 seasons in Japan, Mikolas' era fell to 2.70 in the win. He didn't walk a batter for the 3rd straight start and has now allowed only 2 walks in 40 innings this season. Tommy Pham provided the scoring for St. Louis with a 3-run home run off Chicago starter Jose Quintana, 3-2, in the 2nd inning. All 3 of the runs were unearned after an error by Cubs shortstop Javier Baez, his 8th error of the season and 3rd in his last 5 games. Bud Norris earned his 7th save in 7 chances for the Cardinals, doing so despite allowing 3 hits and a pair of runs in the 9th inning. Wainwright's return St. Louis starter Adam Wainwright threw a bullpen session on Friday, and Cardinals general manager Michael Gersh said he would meet with the right-hander on Saturday to decide his next step in returning from elbow inflammation. Wainwright has been on the disabled list since April 20, and Gersh said it's possible the 36-year-old will need a rehab start before returning to the Cardinals rotation. Wainwright is 1-2 with a 3.45 ERA in 3 starts this season. Trainer's room Cubs, Addison Russell sat out for the 2nd time in 6 games for Chicago, with Baez starting at shortstop instead. Manager Joe Maddon said the day off for Russell wasn't injury-related. Cardinals, Gersh said reliever Brett Cecil is expected to have 1 more outing in extended spring training and could possibly start a rehab assignment next week. Cecil has been out since injuring his left shoulder on opening day. Up next Cubs, after his best performance with Chicago, right-hander Tyler Chatwood starts for the Cubs in the 2nd game of the weekend series on Saturday. Chatwood threw 7 scoreless innings in a win over Milwaukee last weekend, and he's 2-3 with a 2.83 ERA in his first season after leaving Colorado to sign with Chicago. Cardinals, St. Louis starter Luke Weaver has allowed 4 more runs in each of his last 3 starts. The right-hander will try and improve on his 2-2 record and 5.17 ERA when he takes the mound on Saturday afternoon against the Cubs. _more app baseball, https://upnews.com/tag/mlbaseball